Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to JaySkinz Media Solutions. Tonight, we're here at Lanier Speedway. The super late models are on track. The league is racing for a cause. My name is KR Stolfus. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Hopefully, we will fill your ear holes and eye holes with a couple of gasms and all kinds of good stuff tonight. First of all, I want to give a good shout out to everybody that's watching. Appreciate it. Hit me up in chat. Let me know you're here in YouTube chat. So as mentioned, this is the Champlain Explorer 125 here at Lanier National Speedway, and qualifying looks to be getting ready to kick off here. So with that being said, let's get right to it. It is single car qualifying, so as the cars roll out on track, you'll see one, but you'll hear many. I'll do my best to bring you some of the more exciting laps. Ryan Nolin was our pole sitter for last week's event, and then he took an EOL penalty challenge, so to speak. Started at the back of the race last week, unable to make his way to the front, got into some trouble early, and still managed a solid finish though. And for those of you who are wondering, why, yes, I did have a beer. Not telling you what it is though, but it helps me talk. Keeps my throat hole lubricated. Alright, so as the times are registered, you'll see them on the left-hand side there. Looks like AJ Rogers with the best time so far in the 17 machine. Al Smith currently fourth. Andrew Hill pulling into the pits, he's second. Chris the Bean Counter Legue, he is currently 8th. Al Smith rolling through the pits, taking the shortcut. Brad Carpenter, driver we haven't got to talk about yet, in the 43 machine, currently 11th. He is currently the only car on track. Oh no, Douglas is out there. You know what? And Douglas is not in TeamSpeak. Douglas and Brad Carpenter, only 2 cars turning laps right now. Current running order is AJ Rogers, Ryan Rogers, Andrew Hill, Al Smith, Ryan Nolin. Those are your top 5. Douglas shutting it down. He's good enough for 9th place right now. So tonight's order of events will be qualifying. After qualifying, we go straight into the race. 125 laps here at Lanier. I think it's going to be some great and exciting racing here at Lanier. The late models always put on a good show. A good short track car. Good short track here at Lanier. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Brad looking to be shutting it down. Not sure if he's going to turn any more laps as we're in the final minute 15 seconds of qualifying. No cars out on track right now, so we get the superb views of our scenic camera setup that iRacing so nicely has provided for us. Great shot of the backstretch there. Very, very beautiful. Got some lights going on. Got some trees in the background. We could talk about the track, or we could talk about racing for a cause. Each and every week, these guys bring a cause to support, and it becomes the race title, so to speak, essentially the race sponsor. Tonight is presented by Dan and Julie Nolin, and if you happen to see a Nolin in there sitting in 5th, that's because that is family. Ryan Nolin's parents are sponsoring tonight. And after the race, we're going to pull Ryan Nolin in and get to hear a little bit about his cause and everything that is about tonight's race. Hopefully, Ryan will be able to make it into the interview because he was on the podium or won the race. Regardless, we will talk to him about it. So, looks like that is it for qualifying. Cars are going to be taken to the grid here. One of these days, I am gonna get over whatever the heck I've had for 2 weeks now. It's been gnarly. So on the grid, we're gonna go through our grid walk here, so to speak. Brian Rogers starting second. AJ Rogers is first, but he is not on the grid yet. We have Al Smith Jr. in the 91, Andrew Hill in the 77. Ryan Nolin gonna be starting 5th. And the 70 machine of Buzzy Lambert, Chris Legue, and the 11 of Brian Hacker. AJ Hamill, last week's winner, starting deep in the field. Very deep, uncharacteristic of him. 45 of Dougie. Oh man, Doug, I wish you were in TeamSpeak. There he is. Hey Doug, this is KR up in the booth. You got your ears on?
Yes, sir.
Doug, I am sorry, I have butchered your name for like 2 weeks straight. How do you pronounce your last name, sir?
Wysocki.
Wysocki. Hey, man, that was a good guess on my part. All right, good luck, and hopeful to talk to you some more tonight.
All right, man, thank you.
So, Wysocki, I thought it was Wysocki, but didn't want to assume too much. Brad Carpenter, Peyton Johnson. Cars are moving around, hard to click on them when everything's moving like it is. Zach Coyer, Aaron. When we're getting ready to go green flag racing, AJ Rogers has control of the field. Green flag in the air. Turn 1, everyone getting through nice and smooth. Nice and clean. The Rogers brothers, though, AJ and Brian, 1 and 2. I assume they're brothers. Scoring tower on the left gives you the running order of every car that's out there. We are already on lap 3 of 125. These are going to go quick. Checking in on Andrew Hill in the 77 machine. Good start for him, sitting 3rd, right in front of Ryan Nolin. One thing we didn't get a chance to talk about is the points. Al Smith is your points leader. Ryan Nolin sitting 2nd in points right now. Side by side up front, AJ getting down underneath, Brian getting underneath AJ, sorry. AJ in the 17, Brian in the 12. 125 laps, so this track is going to go through some changes. The bottom line might be the fastest line right now, but as more cars heat up that inside line, be looking for cars to start running in that 2nd lane. That's where the 17 machine of AJ is already running, and he's doing a great job of fending off his fellow driver Brian Rogers. single file for some of the way back through the rest of the field, but then we have another side-by-side battle. There's the 85 machine of Peyton Johnson. Now all the cars are tucked in. So back up front, this battle still hasn't settled itself. Side by side, lap after lap. Neither one able to get a clear advantage, although now AJ getting the nose out there down the straightaway, getting a good run. But losing out, looks like Brian is picking up the throttle from the middle of the corner on out a little bit better. But AJ able to roll the corner and get that run. We go on board with Andrew Hill as we get a good shot of this battle here. Now Hill trying half a lane up. Finally, Brian clears AJ. We have our first lead change. Put Brian in first place now. AJ's in second. Andrew Hill third. Brian Nolin fourth. And Brian Hacker fifth. Al Smith, their points leader, is currently seventh. Doing what he can to hold on to that points lead. But he's for sure going to be wanting to run a little bit better than where he's at. But Al Smith, definitely a crafty driver. Very patient driver. Will let you wear your tires out, and then when you're at your weakest is when it's easiest for him to pass you. So don't count him out of this race just yet. Lots of laps to go. Over 100 laps left, and oh my goodness, we got a Rogers sideways. Not sure what happened to him here. Ryan Rogers looked like he just kind of lost it a little bit. The replay here is going to let us know if he had some help. And he did. No love lost between the 12 and the 17. A little bit of a dump and run. Brian Rogers with a nudge from AJ. That's going to put AJ in the lead. And Brian all the way down to 14th now. He's got his work cut out for him. Get a good shot of all the drivers in front of Brian Rogers now. It was a clear field of view. And now it has nothing but cars in front of him, so tough break, but still early on in tonight's event, so he has every opportunity to make up and get back up there and possibly return the favor. Ought to be interesting to see if a little bit of payback comes in later on in the race. So our first caution of the night. Cars forming up, getting ready for that restart.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Andrew Hill on the outside. AJ Rogers on the inside. And Al Smith in trouble there.
The yellow flag is out.
Nope, sorry, that was not Al Smith. Peyton Johnson in trouble. Aaron Lapham. Very possibly Al Smith. A lot just happened right there. Al Smith got a little bit of a bump, and then as things got stacked up, Peyton Johnson, Aaron Lapham, and the 43 of Brad Carpenter all made a little bit of contact until things finally straightened out. So Everyone's sorted out now, though. Gonna try this restart. Gonna try this restart thing once again. So your top three: AJ Rogers, Andrew Hill, Ryan Nolin. Ryan Nolin slowly but surely making his way through the field. Field starting to form up. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to be going green this time around.
Green flag.
AJ getting a good start there. Ryan Nolin down to the inside of Andrew Hill. Nolin going to do all he can now to get to the front. He wants to lead this thing. Meanwhile, in the back of the pack, we got a knot of cars all over the place. Douglas Wysocki in the 45. Brian Rogers on the outside here working his way through the field, but now he's got Zach Coyer in front of him. Zach running that high side as well. 43 of Brad Carpenter, who we saw get a little bit of damage in that second pileup. Side-by-side action here. Now Brian Rogers to the inside. Trying to get around Coyer. Able to clear him there. Coyer going to tuck in. Now car's starting to go single file here. Man, I just cannot quit coughing. Chris Legue holding on to that fifth spot, but being challenged by Buzzy Lambert. Buzzy running that high side. Ooh, a little bit of contact. Oh, almost three wide. Almost collecting AJ Hamill, last week's winner. Hamill started deep in the field, trying to work his way up. We go on board with AJ Hamill right now. You see a little bit of damage there on the 70 machine of the Buzzy Lambert operation. Buzzy now clearing Chris Legue. AJ doing what he can, trying to work underneath Chris, getting that run off the corner, stick your nose in there, force him to the outside. So far just hasn't been able to do it. Meanwhile, up front, AJ Rogers has a bit of a gap over Ryan Nolin. Andrew Hill sitting in third. Fourth place of Brian Hacker. Cars all kind of single file as everyone works around the track here. Lap 40, getting ready to come up of 125. Peyton Johnson and Aaron Lapham, recipients of that second spin out. A little bit of damage, but not stopping them. Still haven't made pit stop to repair it. These guys are in it for the long haul. Brian Rogers trying to sneak his way underneath our points leader, Al Smith. Brian wants that retribution. He is desperate to get back to the front. Check in on Buzzy Lambert. As you can see, he's got a bit of damage there like we saw earlier. But Buzzy not letting it slow him down. It's top 5 currently. Looking now to get Brian Hacker squaring his sights, closing in little by little. Brian Hacker's previous lap, 14.390. Buzzy Lambert with a 14.304, so inching in oh so slightly. That time the roles were reversed. Brian pulled away just a hair. Laps are going to click off quickly here, so everyone be paying attention. If it happens and I miss it, well, that's just, you're too bad. You were just SOL. You're out of luck. I do what I can. I try to miss all the good stuff. That way you send me hate mail, but you still at least send me mail, and I appreciate it. Makes me feel special. A lot of 2-car battles going on in the track here. The leaders are single file with some spacing between the top 3. And we got Brian Hacker and Buzzy Lambert. AJ Himmel and Chris Legue in a little bit of the scrap here going single file, but everyone seems to have just kind of been settling in. Not a whole lot of cars fighting it out right now. We do have Zach Coyer and Brad Carpenter here, along with Peyton Johnson. .52 of 125. If I were to do math, I'd have to take my shoes off. Half of 125, I think, is carry the 6. 6 carry the 2. What is that? 63 is halfway. 64, 63, 62. We're getting close to halfway. That's all I know. Don't ask me to do math. Just talk about the race, KR. Got it. Buzzy Lambert underneath the 11 of Brian Hacker. Side by side they go. It's going to take a few laps to settle this one. And just as I say that, Buzzy able to get by Brian. Brian tucks in now. So put Buzzy Lambert in 4th, Brian Hacker 5th. Now Buzzy is going to have to set his sights on Andrew Hill in the 77 machine. Andrew Hill having a great race here tonight. Get a good shot of the cars behind Andrew Hill. You can see that how everyone's negotiating the corners here. Andrew Hill out front, looking over his hood here.
The yellow flag is out.
And the caution is out. We got 2 cars sideways. Looks like Aaron Lapham and Zach Coyer possibly involved in this little scrape. Sure are. Just a little bit of contact. Zach Coyer sliding sideways. Both cars get it straightened out and get going, but they're going to be scored 1 lap down. Check in on AJ Himmel. Got lots of cars pitting. That's what's going on. Several cars making a pit stop here. About halfway point. Fresh tires could be the key to this race victory, but AJ Himmel stayed out. Chris Legue stayed out, and Brian Rogers, Al Smith, Peyton Johnson, Douglas Wysocki, all those guys stayed out. Now it looks like AJ Rogers has lost a lot of ground on pit road as well. AJ Hamill, though, scored as your race leader, did not make a pit stop. So as these cars cycle around, Zach Coyer looks like he'll get a wave around past the pace car. Last week's winner, AJ Hamill, no stranger to running up front. Also no stranger to a long race run where he's not worried about pitting. We saw him do it at Thompson. If he didn't need to pit for fuel, he wasn't going to pit. So here he is now leading the race. Brian Rogers did not pit as well, sitting third now. Green flag in the air. AJ Hamill out front, leading his first green flag laps of the night. Chris Legue sitting second. Brian Rogers can sniff that lead that he had early in the race. But I'll tell you, AJ Hamill is a solid driver when he gets into that clean air. He is going to be tough to pass. Andrew Hill all over the back bumper of Brian Rogers. And the leader before pit stops, AJ Rogers, mired back deep in this field. In a spot of trouble here as cars are side by side in front of him. Ryan Nolin now straightened out with the 11 of Brian Hacker. Brian Hacker goes to the high side. AJ down low. Gonna clear Brian easily. But up front, nobody's pulling away just yet. AJ Hamill on the benefit of the warm tires, ready to rock. But Andrew Hill has a fresh rubber, and he is challenging on the outside. Power move past Brian Rogers. And now Ryan Nolin following suit as well. Brian Rogers dropping spots here. Looks like the fresh tires is where it's at right now. Oh my goodness, AJ Rogers sitting there, third car on that high side, now second car. These guys on fresh tires are eating up everyone who did not stop. AJ Hamill holding on tooth and nail, hoping that Chris Legue can hold these guys up. Chris is like, man, I am in this fight all by myself. Chris holding on to this car quite well. Fending off two cars right now. Ooh, contact. Andrew Hill up the track, saves it. Great save. Now it bounces off the wall just for effect. Able to keep going though, gonna remount his charge. And now it looks like Ryan Nolin trying the outside of Chris Legue. Ryan Nolin way high entry, pulling it down there in the middle of the corner though. Chris giving him lots of room on corner exit. Now Ryan Nolin almost clearing him on the straightaway, getting another great run. Now he's up against AJ Hamill for the lead. Ryan Nolin challenging. But AJ Rogers sitting right there as well. So Ryan Nolan's going to have to fight for this lead in a three-car battle. Nolin edging out just a little bit here. Looks like he's going to clear Hamill this time around turn 4 and does. Now AJ Rogers looking to try and get by Hamill. And the caution is out. Brad Carpenter in trouble. Gonna check in on Carpenter here, see what happened. The 70 of Buzzy Lambert behind Carpenter. Buzzy giving just a little bit of a nose to Brad Carpenter. Carpenter into the inside wall, then the outside wall, gets it in gear, and away he goes. Some close racing right there. Looked like a little bit of a misjudge by Buzzy. But now we have cars pitting. AJ Hamill pitting, Chris Legue pitting. Looks like Al Smith as well in pit road. These guys look to be taking tires and possibly even fuel. How could you not after you saw the charge? Brian Nolin and AJ Rogers, those two straight to the front on fresh tires. Man, I'll tell you, this coffin stuff, it's got to go. I'm getting annoyed with it. AJ Hamill beats the pace car off pit road. But it looks like Al Smith going to be scored a lap down. Your points leader coming into tonight's event in trouble here early, currently scored 13. One lap down. But we are getting ready to go green flag racing once again. The cars are stacking up 2 by 2. Ryan Nolin, AJ Rogers, Andrew Hill, and Brian Rogers. Your top 4, 2 rows. Nolin getting a good start here. AJ Rogers. Oh, and Brad Carpenter in trouble again. Carpenter in trouble with the 45 machine of Douglas Wysocki. Carpenter gets going, but Wysocki not so much. Holding it to the inside of the track. No yellow yet.
The yellow flag is out.
Now the yellow has come out. I did not go back far enough. Well, we saw a little bit of it. Douglas Wysocki got into the left rear of Brad Carpenter. And that put both cars into the wall. And then when Wysocki tried to straighten it out and get going again, that gave him, once he got over that yellow line, he was the cause of the caution. So Rogers in pit road. Something happened to Rogers. Not sure why he would be on pit road again. But Rogers in trouble here. Very strong car. Sitting second before this caution, and now in pit road. Lap down, maybe possibly 2 before he gets going again. So Ryan Nolin, your race leader, on fresher tires in second place. Brian Rogers. Rogers has not made a pit stop. The only car to not make a pit stop so far. Man, I wish I knew what happened to AJ Rogers. But the field is forming up. We're getting ready to go green. Lap 91 of 125 in the score sheet. Pace car is in. Green flag in the air, and we are back racing. Andrew Hill underneath Brian Rogers. Hill on a little bit of fresher tires. Rogers on that high line getting that momentum going. great racing here. Buzzy Lambert in a little bit of trouble there, got into the wall, able to keep going. Man, that car's got damage on all four corners. That's how you know you're at a short track, ladies and gentlemen. Not a straight piece on that car, and he's still going. There's no quit in that 70 machine. We go in the car with Buzzy Lambert. You can see that right front sticking up there. Not too much of a worry here for aerodynamic damage. Maybe a little bit, but not a lot. But that is definitely going to hurt him because he was a strong car. Now he's got all four corners wadded up. Ooh, getting so close to Chris Legue as Chris fights the 0-5 of Aaron Lapham. Aaron pulls up to the high side. Gonna let these two guys go. Meanwhile, Zach Coyer underneath Peyton Johnson. Zach Coyer one lap down, fighting Al Smith there for position. Al Smith got two cars in front of him. Zach Coyer in the 81 machine. 85 of Peyton Johnson. The 11 of Brian Hacker. AJ Hamill working around the outside of him. Hamill on the freshest tires of everyone now in the top 5. He pitted a little bit later than Ryan Nolin and Andrew Hill. But he's got his work cut out for him. Now he's got to get around Brian Rogers. Laps are winding down. 103 of 125. 22 laps to go. Hamill has got to get by and do it in a hurry if he wants to make it onto this podium spot and maybe even challenge for first or second. Meanwhile, up front, it is all Ryan Nolin right now. Andrew Hill in second. About 10 car lengths behind him. Andrew Hill with a big old donut on his inside there. Another car that has got a few fenders smashed in. Looks like he's got one straight corner in the right rear. But I bet if we looked at it close enough, we'd find some damage on it. Hamill has managed to get around Rogers to score the 14 car in third spot. Now he's got set his sights on Andrew Hill and is quickly running out of time to do it. AJ Hamill chasing down Andrew Hill. Hamill's last lap, 14.308. Hill's a 14.359. This is going to be a great battle here if he can get up to him. Got about 15 laps to catch him and pass him. Don't know if Hamill's going to have the time to do anything with Ryan Nolin. .111 of 125, getting close to 10 laps to go. This race is drawing to a close in a hurry. Brian Rogers in fourth. Caution is out. Looks like Buzzy Lambert backed into the wall there. We're going to see what happened to Buzzy here. Minor contact from the 05 and Buzzy chasing the car down the entire straightaway trying to save it. Runs out of room. That wall just came up out of nowhere. The 05 of Aaron Lapham just giving him just the slightest of touch. Sent him around. Able to keep going though. Man, that car is wadded up in all four corners. I would not want to be a part of the body shop that has to fix that. You are pulling some overnighters getting those things straightened out. So Ryan Nolin on lap 115 of 125, your race leader. 10 to go as we are going to click off a few laps under caution here. So when we go back green flag racing, less than 10 laps left in the Champlain Explorer 125. Running order on the left there, Ryan Nolin, Andrew Hill, AJ Hamill, Brian Rogers, Brian Heckler, Peyton Johnson, Chris Legue, Brad Carpenter, Al Smith, Zach Coyer, Buzzy Lambert, Douglas Wysocki, Aaron Lapham, and AJ Rogers has packed it up and gone on home. Those are your 14 cars that took the green flag tonight. Field's starting to form up now. 2 by 2 for this restart. Andrew Hill on the outside. AJ Hamill. This is the caution Hamill needed. He's got a little bit of fresher tires.
Green flag, green flag.
Ryan Nolin able to clear Hill. Hill able to clear Hamill. So the top three go single file. Hamill now under a little bit of pressure from Brian Rogers. Brian able to hang in there, not making a single pit stop all night. Brian Rogers running in 4th spot. Doing a great job. A little bit of strategy on his part. We got into that trouble early. His hand was possibly forced into this strategy, but he is making it work as he's sitting in 4th place. But Ryan Nolin out front. Hamill trying to get around the outside of Hill now. Unable to make it work. Gonna tuck back in. Now on the outside of him. Get a good shot here as they go side by side. And the caution is out. Caution is out. Not sure for who. I think Peyton Johnson in the 85 here was a little bit... Not 100% sure. Gonna check and follow. Yes, Peyton Johnson in trouble here. Zach Coyer as well. Brad Carpenter. 3 cars go up the track, but that is gonna hand the lead or the race win. Sorry. To Ryan Nolin, as this is gonna finish under yellow. 2 laps to go. Ryan Nolin under caution. Your race winner tonight. White flag in the air, final lap. Coming out of turn 4 for the final time. Checkered flag. Give the win to Ryan Nolin, coming from mid-pack, able to get it done. Ryan Nolin, your race winner. 2nd place, Andrew Hill and AJ Hamill. are your top 3, and we're going to pull these guys into the broadcasting booth so we can get a talk with them. Interview the top 3 here. If they could pull onto the front stretch and not exit their cars, that'd be awesome. So we got our top 3 in here, and we're going to start with second place of Andrew Hill. Mr. Hill, are you there?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Andrew Hill, what a race you had, man. Finished second. You battled on the outside. You battled on the inside. You even stopped for tires, and you wind up in second place. Great job tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It was a pretty rough race, but happy to be here.
Definitely a short track race for the ages. A lot of cars beat up, banged up, and your car not going unscathed. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown of what you saw out there and how you managed to end up second?
Yeah, I started third, I think, and I kind of rode around. Then we pitted a little before halfway and came up to the field. I was only taking 2 tires. And then a few other guys pitted. I got caught up in a little bit of a wreck there. A car was stopped. I didn't see him. I think I accidentally took out AJ Rogers. Unfortunately, I feel bad about that, but I kind of got scared a little bit and jerked the wheel and got him. That kind of caused most of my damage here. But then other than that, and then I just followed Ryan up through and tried to stay with him.
Well, you did a great job ending up second place, so congratulations on that. Any sponsors, anything you'd like to thank?
I just want to thank you for coming on and broadcasting for us, and I want to thank Dan and Julie for making this happen tonight.
All right, well, once again, congratulations. 125 lap battle, and you end up second place.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Third place finisher, Mr. A.J. Hamill. Mr. Hamill, are you there?
Sure thing.
Congratulations on third place. An up and down race for you as you started deep in the field, worked your way to the front, led some laps, a little bit of race strategy, had to pit or not pit, and now you're third. So give us a little bit of a rundown.
Tonight was a classic better lucky than good situation. This is not my place, not my favorite track, but snuck through a wreck early, gained a bunch of spots there, and I knew I couldn't take 4 tires, so I had to stay out. And luckily caught a yellow before I fell back too far, and then I could take my tires. And having those tires was a big advantage. You can just get up and go on guys. Makes you look a lot better than you really are.
We saw a lot of cars on fresh tires taken to the high side. The first set of pit stops came about halfway, and the drivers that had fresh tires were running the high side while you were leading. Is that what really ultimately led to you pitting? Were you thinking up to that point about not stopping for tires?
If I was in the top 5, I was going to stop. That was my plan, and that yellow was in a very good spot where they had run off good 20 laps of their tires, working hard, and a decent amount of time left to go. And if I didn't stop then, I wasn't going to stop at all, and that probably would have resulted in a fade to the back of the lead lap cars or worse. So it actually just very lucky timing.
Well, congratulations. Final spot on the podium here, 125 laps at Lanier. Anybody you'd like to thank? People who bought your tires, maybe?
Yeah, I want to thank Dan and Julie Nolin and Champlain Explorer, and congratulate Ryan on another win. And Andrew on another run. I got him twice on the outside last night. Almost got him again with these nice fresher shoes, but he held me off there at the end. My sponsors, American Diabetes Association, Arts Barbershop, SLC. I got to thank you for broadcasting, Andy Lambert for putting this thing on, and apologize to anybody I got into. It was rough back there.
Some feelings get hurt at short track racing every time we go to one, so apologies.
A lot of work for the crews tonight.
Yeah,
setting up race cars.
There's not very many straight panels, I'll tell you what. So, all right, well, thank you very much. That is your third place finisher, A.J. Hamill. But now we're going to move on to the race winner, Mr. Ryan Nolin. Are you there, sir?
Yeah, I've got you.
Man, oh man, what a race it was. And you come out on top of this thing, starting 5th place, slowly but surely worked your way to the front, and here you are in victory lane.
Yeah, it was a good race and wasn't really sure how it was going to shake out. I thought we might have a full green flag run to the end before those first cautions, so I was kind of trying to save my tires and conserve towards the end, but then we had the caution. I think it was around lap 50 or so, and decided if we were going to pit for tires, it's probably the best time, and was kind of debating if I should take 2 or 4 just because I didn't know if there was enough time to do that without getting a lap down, but I just barely snuck in front of the pace car, and it just worked out for us, so that was a lot of luck, and then we were able to use those fresh tires and make our way up through the field.
Well, you did a great job at getting through the field. Your car's of the top 3, your car is the straightest, although your left side does have a few donuts and a few dings, but overall, not too bad of a race.
Yeah, I mean, when we went up through the field there, I think I was 3 wide at one point because cars were going all sideways, and that was just pure luck to make it through it. But fortunately, we did, and from there we were able to kind of follow Andrew up through on the outside, and just kind of got in there and actually got to the inside of Andrew, and I think we touched, which kind of pushed him out of the way, and I definitely apologize for that. Not the way I like to race, but it is what it is, and we came out on top.
That you did, and speaking of, why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown of tonight, as tonight's race was your cause. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, this cause is a little bit different, but it's the Champlain Explorer is an autonomous boat that me and my father are putting together. It's actually it's going to be in a race across the Atlantic to beat a couple of other drone boats, and at this point there's been 30 attempts to cross the ocean, and so we're hoping to be the first to make that happen, and it's kind of a way we can bring awareness to our waters and reduce our pollution, and just bring recognition to it.
Man, oh man, a boat that's going across the pond, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of a nerdy challenge that we like to take on. I like doing these difficult projects, things that have never been done before. So, if we can make that happen, it'd be really big. And in the future, this type of equipment could be used for research, doing autonomous exploration in the Antarctics, and just working autonomously in general is more efficient. This is purely electric powered with solar panels, so there's no fossil fuels being burned, so it's very green.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Where can people find out more information about this?
So we're going to have a blog right now. I'm in the middle of building it. Half the boat's in Vermont with my dad, and the other half is here in Kentucky where I'm at. But so you can follow our blog. It's on www.skyviewcustoms.com, and there's a link called Champlain Explorer, so check it out. And I also want to thank you guys for broadcasting. You do a great job, and Andy Lambert for putting on the series, and of course my parents. This is a great one to win. Got to thank them for sponsoring this race.
Well, congratulations on the race win, and we look forward to seeing you next week. You're a solid driver, week in, week out, challenging for these race wins. So, as far as I know, you were second place in the points coming in tonight, and Al Smith in some trouble early and often tonight. So I think it's safe to assume you're going to get the points lead.
Well, I don't know. I think I had a pretty bad week last week, so I think this at least makes me feel a little bit better about that. And it's a good tight race for the points, and everyone's good drivers, so we don't really know how it's going to shake out, but hopefully we're on top.
Well, once again, congratulations on the race win and your signature series cause, however you want to say it. So good job on that, and thank you for talking to us about it.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Ryan Nolin, your race winner. All right, guys, let's go through the results. Ryan Nolin wins it over Andrew Hill, coming in second. AJ Hamill third. Brian Rogers fourth. Brian Hacker fifth. Chris Legue sixth. Brad Carpenter seventh. Al Smith, the points leader coming into tonight, but dangerous race for him and losing a lot of ground on that. Peyton Johnson ninth. Zach Coyer rounds out your top 10. Buzzy Lambert, Aaron Lapham 11th and 12th. 13th is Douglas Wysocki, and AJ Rogers in trouble. Didn't get to see what happened to him, but he led some laps here, but unable to capitalize on a race win. He's going to bring it home 14th. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here at Lanier. Thank you very much for joining me. If you haven't done so, hit the like button. And, man, until next time, y'all have a good night.